Morning guys, how you all doing? All good, I hope. Welcome back to the channel. I'm Nigel from the Norfolk fishing channel. Today I'm back out at Reedham Ferry. It's on the River Yare. It's quite high up near Acle. It's about 20 minutes to the estuary, to the coast. And it's only my second time I've ever been here. First time I came here was about a week and a half ago, and I'd intended to do a session on stick float and bollo and waggler work. But the river was absolutely belting through. It's far too pacey for all my rigs, and I sat there for 3 hours without a bite. I left all my feeder rods at home, I left all my feeders at home and everything, and I knew I was on for a blank, so I had to do something, I had to change something quite radical. And I had to sort of like sit down and scratch my head, and the only thing I can think of doing, because I knew my presentation wasn't right, the only thing I had left in my armoury was some flat floats, and I tied a rig on just using my waggler rod and fishing it down the edge, and I ended up with a decent net of fish, probably about 15-pounder roach. So I thought, it's been about a week and a half, I'll come back and do a session on flat floats. Well, typical, I've got here this morning and the river is a good 8 foot down, There's a little staging behind me, that's just mud. And I said I walked round to the bay there, and I could see the bottom. But very little flow on the inside here. But when I got here, I thought I'd bring a heavy feeder rod as well, and I was needing about 3.5 ounces to hold out there, but it's been dropping and slowing down all morning, which is typical. But I'm going to sack the feeder rod off. I'm going to just try and concentrate on the flat floats today, and I'll put a link in the description and a link to this video of the previous session, so you can have a watch of that. So I've basically got 2 lines set up. I've got one at top 4, or top 3 plus 1, and I've got one at top 3 to my number 7 section. I might have to readjust the rigs on that one, because it's probably going to be a bit too heavy. But oh, it's so cold this morning. That wind is so raw. But the inside line's working really well at the minute. It's taken a while to set up. I had it spot on, but the olivettes dropped off, and I leave all my olivettes at home because I make my rigs at home. So I had to just set it up with shots. But I wanted to get it dotted right down as fine as I can. And basically on the inside line, I started off this morning, as I say, it was pushing through quite nicely, and the float was holding quite nicely in the current, and I was just feeding through the bait dropper only. But at the minute it's slowed right up so I can ball it in, and I did mix the ground bait for the feeder quite wet and heavy this morning. So basically on the inside line I've got 3 gram sensors flat float. Got plenty of rubbers on there, because you often quite lose a few, and I've just got a big bulk down of shot, a couple of BBs and number 1s, and I've got one number 8 dropper underneath. That's a 0.12mm, so it's quite sturdy main line, down to a 0.10 Garbolino G line, and I've only got a size 20 on there. And at the minute I started off with a section of worm, and that's working. But the last sort of 8-10 fish I've just been catching on single maggot. Single red maggot seems to be the best at the minute. I had one roach on the on the feeder, which was a good roach as well. It was about 1.5 pounds. I don't here. I've got a brand new camera, nice 4K camera. So I hope the picture quality is a lot better, and the sound quality, because the other one I dropped it in the sea a couple of times. It was about 2 or 3 year old, and it was getting past its best. Anyway, enough of the waffling on that. So on the other rig, it's pretty much the same, just a heavier version. I've got a 4 gram, which is one I was using last week. Another Sensors 4 gram flat float, and again it's exactly the same. 0.12 Garbolino G line mainline, an olivette, I've got stepped up a bit. This one is 0.12 again, and a size 14 hook. That's for a bit further out. I'm going to see if we can get away with a nice big bit of worm on there, and a bit of worm or 2 or 3 red maggots. And I'm not set. I've got another top kit here ready to go if I need it, but I haven't set it up yet. But I've got more flat floats. Got another one here at 6 gram, and I just bought a couple more underneath my box here, 8 and 10 gram, but I'm definitely not going to need them today. But I'll show you where I'm fishing on my inside line. Another nice roach. The quality of the stamp of the fish at the minute are quite small on this inside. I haven't put any bait on the 7 metre line yet, but I'm going to do that in a minute, because the fish seem to respond quite quickly here and move in quite quick. But I just feel out there at the minute. I was casting sort of a third to just short of halfway on the feeder, but it's so belting through out there. I just don't think the fish, you know, naturally want to be out there in the absolute racing current. I mean, what I was doing is having quite a good drop. There's a bite straight away. Sweeping my head back, the rod back over my head, holding the rod high in the air, and it's deep out there, very deep. It took a good 4 seconds to hit the bottom, and then just giving it a good one wind, so I've got some line on the spool and I'm not striking against the... Well, there's a bite straight away. I missed it. So I'm not striking against the line clip, just putting it down and letting a big bow form. But as I say, I don't think the fish naturally want to be out there where the current's racing through. I mean, anywhere on here, it's quite pacey. The further out you go. I mean, it looks at the minute like it's probably at the bottom of the ebb, or bottom of the flood, because it was going right to left, and the ferry there to my right, and then that go further out towards the coast. But I'm really surprised how much it's dropped. I mean, about a week and a half ago, the water was up to this boarding where I'm sitting, and it is way down, way down. That's just typical. I come to do I mean, last week it was totally unexpected. I expected to do a session on bolo and stick and waggler, and it was just absolutely racing through. And today you come all prepared to do a flat float video, and the river says no. Let's put some bait on, shall we? Okay. There's a little ledge, and I've got where I'm putting my hook on a rubber band, and I'm holding that when I'm swinging out to get the right line, and I'm just pushing out a little bit. But I've had to shallow up 3 foot since being here. But I've only sort of like 1 ounce fish at the minute. What? But I've shot at that float, so it's almost sinking. And we're just feeding at the minute because of the flow. I'm just feeding through ground bait at the minute. Really squeezing it tight. I've got plenty of maggots in there, some pinkies, casters, some hemp and wheat. I'm just using one hand and squeeze it as hard as I can into a ball. There's a bite. Just feeding little nuggets like that. And even these little fish are taking the float under nicely. Another nice little roach. Hopefully no weaver fish today. Last thing I want is handling them awful things. But no little bass this morning, but looking at the tide and how low the river is, so I'm just holding the elastic, swinging it out as far as I can, and then pushing out to 5 meters. But section 4, sorry. And that ground bait is just going straight down. I can see it just going straight down. I just wish there was more flow on it. So it was when I got here. The float was sitting nice and parallel to the end of the rod, but now it's slowed down. It's started to do that weird. Sometimes it sort of comes towards you, sometimes strays away. There's a bite. There's a bite. We're getting plenty of fit. Oh, that one's dropped off. Plenty of bites and plenty of fish again. Okay guys, just done what I said I was going to do. Kept the 4 metre line, the 4 gram rig for the 4 metre line, or just off the end. Put a bait dropper down there. I just put 2 bait droppers in on my 7 metre line, one with just the ground bait mix, and one for a good handful of maggots, casters, pinkies, and some hemp. I've set up a 6 gram rig. Let's go out and see if we can catch a fish. I've just got a size 16 on this one. Just going to push that right out to the end of the section. Right, it must be really tonking through there because that 6 gram rig's sitting up as well. So. Needs more shot on there. Definitely. Needs a lot more shot. No point sitting like that. That's no good. I'm going to have to get more shot on there. I'm going to swing it out, let that bulk naturally drop and come in back in line. Let that. That's better. Still could take a little bit more shot. It needs a little bit more shot, but I've noticed straight away that there's a big bit of weed there and there's a big bit of weed in front of me, so I'll just come in a bit and it floats sitting a lot better. But I think what I'm going to do is like emulate the other rig and I'm going to put a number 4 as a dropper. I'm going to move this bulk up a bit. That's better. I'm not going to waste too much time on this rig. If it's not sitting right and I'm not getting the bite, it's going to come back in on my 4 metre line. But what I'm doing now is I'm only going to sort of like section 6.5. I'm just going to drop it in, land it straight out and then just drop it straight down. That's instantly a lot better. There's a big patch of weed. I ain't going to give it too long on here. For the minute, I'll probably come back on here when it sort of starts to ease down a little bit. Like I keep saying, the fish are going to be where they naturally want to be. And that's if that's in close, when it's pushing hard, then that's where they want to be. Okay, what I'm going to do, use this short 4 so I don't have to break that other leg down. Right, come on, let's stop wasting time, shall we? Just getting a nice section of worm, cutting the head off, pushing it all the way around to the bend and then nipping the tail off. Just a nice bit of juice flowing from both ends. Oof, and half and half. Oh, as well, I've got a, oh, that's not open, so we're good. I'm just going to swing it out, let the water bring it back in line, and then just drop it straight down. Bang, bang there, right on the bottom. Yeah, my daughter's given me an old iPhone, and I've got my old phone. I'm going to invest in another GoPro as well, and just get plenty of phones. I'm going to use my GoPros. I'm going to put one on the end of my feeder arm and one on the end of my landing net. And use my phones for the normal sort of film work and just hopefully get some better footage or some different footage. Be quite nice to I've had a good play around. I've got an old sort of landing net handle I can cable tie and put some electrical tape on there and connect it to, so you're getting a good angle. Right, let's quickly pick up. I'll put that over there. My inside line, and I've got that one on the short for, and I just keep it on the winder till I need it. If anybody knows where I can get hold of some universal 4 sections that need cutting back at the butt, and that would be handy to know. I'll have to have a look on the map, or I might even just have a look on the map website and see if they do any spare section 4s for their range, because all the TKS range are all interchangeable, I know that. So I'm just going to go with this one. Nice big little section of worm, a nice big small section, if that makes sense. Okay, let's put you, turn you down there. I think, just looking at this and the way the float is, the next time I feed here, I'm going to put the bait dropper down and put it where my float's sitting nicely at a 45-degree angle. I mean, before I was feeding it slightly to the left, but that's the way the flow was going, but now it's changed, it's turned. I need to adapt my feeding to where this float's sitting naturally. Not too much at a time, because I don't want to spread my bait here, there and everywhere, but because that's not where my bait went. I'm chucking my bait here. I think what I'm going to do as well, I'm just going to bite the bullet and take 1.5 foot off of this so it just sits better. There's too much line at the minute and it's just swinging in too much. I'm probably shorting that by half. I'll replumb because I can see all the time the tide's coming in. Right, I'm going to quickly replumb this because it's not right. Although I'm just going to double check and then I'm going to take some line off. Because I just got a feeling at the minute. Maybe when I was getting them iffy bites here, it was just because of the state of the tide was like I'm about to turn, and that always happens on tidal rivers. Well, that's just sailed away, and I can see, oh, we're miles off the bottom now. Yes, see, sometimes it's not like, oh, where's the fish gone? Where's the fish gone? You're feeding and like, where they've gone to? They haven't gone anywhere. It's just your depth changed. You might be six inches, a foot. Yeah, I've just been out. I stuck it on there for another 5 minutes, and I thought I'd try worm again. And I thought I'd try striking directly up. And I had 4 or 5 fish. I just think I was striking wrong, and the worm seems to be getting the better bites, and the fish are just holding on to the bait a bit more. I think with the maggot at the minute, they're just sort of ragging it and nipping it. But I've just been out. I've replumbed my 7 metre line. I've just put one bait dropper down. I'm just going to put another one in now. So what I'm doing is a couple of dozen maggots, good pinch of casters, some hemp and wheat, and a few pinkies. And I'm going to just top it with some ground bait. I'm not going to pack it in because I want it to come straight out. Just going to pack it flat like that. Close the lid. Make sure that hook is over nicely. And what I've done is put a cable tie, removable cable tie on. So I can just hang that over like that, and then when I ship out, I'll just turn it anti-clockwise and that'll just come off. Just because we're quite high here and it's like a good section 4 and a bit, if I let it just go out, it's just going to fall, hit the water and open up. Just make sure them sections are put together nicely. I'm just shipping out to the end of this 7 metre section. Just going to turn it over, let that settle, come in line, then just drop it straight down. There we go, real nice for that. We're opened. So that's had 2 bait droppers down there now. I'm going to keep feeding this inside line with small nuggets of ground bait just to keep them there and let it settle a little bit. Oop, again, I'm going to start with some worm on this one because it just seems to be doing the business at the minute. I'm going to pull that elastic back in a second. Right, it's going to get a nice bit of worm. Just going to cut that with my scissors so it's nice clean. I can get the hook straight in. And I'm going to just tip it with a pinky. Just to do the same as usual, like you normally do. Just push it in the cut end and push it all the way around the bend of the hook. Right, let's pull this elastic back in. That bait dropper's pretty heavy. What I've started doing as well is in my videos now, I'm going to start putting links in the description of all the tackle that I'm using, because I've got a couple of affiliate accounts set up with eBay, Amazon, yeah, and Angling Direct, eBay, Amazon and Angling Direct. And I've done it from all my beach fishing videos. I'll start doing it again with my course fishing videos, just the tackle I'm using, and if there's anything that's out of stock or not quite available, I'll put the nearest description. I went into Angling Direct the other day and picked up some rods and reels and had a good waggle about and looked at the price point and what I think you'd need to tackle the river and where I'm going and bits and pieces. And if anyone's interested, you know, you get a bit of a discount. But already, this first chuck out, I can see that a lot shorter line and there's more flow out there. That is how I want the flat float to be. It's sitting at 90-degree angle to the pole tip. Oh, it's holding steady in the flow. There's a bite, I think. It might have been a weight. No, I think that was a bite. Yeah, that is absolutely bang on. That's bob on, that is. It's not moving. As I say, it's a nice 45-degree angle. It's just holding steady. I was going to set up a bump bar, but I have my feeder rod there and the feeder arm, and I'd set this bait table up on my ground bait and a few other bits, and I thought, oh, to get my bump bar on, I've got to take everything off again. So I'm only at 7 meters, so pole's nice and light. When I come in next, I'm going to add about 3 inches, because I was only at dead depth. I'm just going to add a couple of inches on there. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to bring that float push it right out to the end of my section. That's it. That's where those bait droppers went in. I'll just hold that float directly over the top. Might take a little while for them to respond. I think there's a little bite there. Again, I'll add 2 or 3 inches on when I come in, and I'm just going to keep like I did the other one. There's a bite, definitely a bite. I'm going to add another number 6 shot on, because you know we're fishing for 3, 4, 5, 6 grams, heavy float, and I want it set so the merest touch it goes under and they're not feeling any resistance. I know it looks good, there's no body showing, it's just a bristle, but I'll probably get away with another number 6 or so. Let's just give this one more go out here, and as I say, I'll bring it in. Oh, I missed it. Sailed away, Nigel, sailed away. I'll catch another fish, put another bait dropper down, let it settle. The fish seem to be coming and going at the minute. You get 2 or 3 in quick succession, and then it goes quiet for 5 minutes, but there's another bite there, and we're in. Feels a little bit better. Elastic's out a little bit. No, it's not massive. Just giving that float a little bit longer when it goes under, because it's quite delicately set, and I think I'm just striking a little bit early. But I've nipped the barb down with a pair of tweezers on that. It's the B520, but it's a micro barb, but I just always push the barb down just to make it so it's just like a little knuckle, if you know what I mean. Makes it a lot easier for unhooking. I don't know if you can see it. Hardly anything on there at all, but just enough to get a purchase. Okay, before I put this away, let's get another bait dropper in. So get my small one, and they've got a little I say catch door. There's a weight on the end, and there's the so as soon as it hits the bottom, the door opens, and it's got a little loop. This one I put a thick bit of rubber because I lost the cork. You just put the hook through the loop. It's just an old bit of rubber off a ground bait catapult, and I just hook it in like that. And still, we're going to put a little bit of ground bait in, but I'll put a fair few maggots in. I'm hoping with this phone, I'm pretty sure because it's brand new, a new Hawaii 70 Pro, 70 Lite Pro, whatever it is called. The other one was USB 2, this is USB 3, and with the video format I'm not going to have to file convert. The other one I had a file convert, it was quick and easy, but it was still a bit of a hassle. I'm just going to hook that over. Let's get this out. We'll bait up and then we'll try the inside line again. Okay guys, I was literally going to go out on this heavier rig, and something just in my mind said, just try this rig on your short line. It's a heavier rig, heavier hook link. I've got a good number 4 dropper there. I've just gone in, I've had 4 or 5 fish, one after the other. It's a big size 14 hook on. Go figure. Whether it's just, I think it's a combination. I'm hooking them because of the size 14 hook, and 2, more importantly, now this flow's picked right up, it's just sitting better in the water. And the short line, I definitely have to shorten that line on the other rig, because I'll show you what I'm doing. I'm just literally dropping it in. I'm on, just going to section 4, flicking it out, putting it right down. I'm going to let that float come parallel and just holding it. There you go, look, straight away. So I put that bait dropper, small bait dropper, but the float's sitting better. There's a bite. There's a bite. And the stamp of the fish as well are bigger. You know, I just think it's a combination of them 3 things. Heavier flow, it's just sitting better in the current. A bigger hook's allowed me to get a better purchase, hook hold. I'm just going to tip that for maggot. And the shorter line, it's just holding it true and static and not waving about in and out. So I'll have, do that again. Just holding it right out. Where I'm getting the bites. Let that float, just, there's a bite straight away. Straight away. Little dink on the float. And there. Oh, I missed that one. It's just strange, isn't it? There's something in the back of my mind there, just try it. So I just stopped and thought, oh, I haven't had a coffee yet and it's bloody cold. So I'm getting my bites there, and ever so slightly closer in. I was just thinking, is that flow's picking up now, then naturally you're going to want to come in where the flow's not quite so hard. And if that's where they naturally want to be, that's where they naturally want to be. Oh, that was a decent roach. That was a decent roach. But I do like it just ever so slightly trickling through, not held static. And a tip under the water then. There's a bite. But what I might do in a minute, that float lifted up then, is start introducing some worm, chopped worm through the bait dropper as well, just because the worm's working so well on the hook today. Smaller one this time, but the bite rate is picked up. I'm getting the bites faster. and the float's sailing away a lot better. Oh no, we missed the net on that one. That one's going to have to wait because I don't want to lean over here because the boarding's a bit we have to be very careful here because that boarding's not the safest. We'll have to let this one go, I think. There's some big holes between the if you put your foot right next to the staging, you're going to lose your leg. So it goes right into the river. Let's just quickly try 2 red maggots and have a see. But the way these bites are coming, I'm gonna have to get some more bait in, I think. But as I say, I don't want to start. I'm not gonna chuck the ground bait in now because it's flowing too hard, and I don't want to start spreading my bait around here and everywhere. Right, there's a boat absolutely tonking along here, quite close, so probably going to make a great big bloody bow wave. Yeah. Here we go, a couple of great big tidal waves coming in. But I can see already the worm is definitely getting better bites than the maggot. The maggots are getting little fast jaggy taps on the float, and it's not getting the bites as quick. Alright, let's go out long. I'm going to put a worm on and go out long. I think as well with just having this shorter line, just notice with that one, it's just got a little dink on the float. I've just got to lift up. Just got to lift up. I don't have to strike, just lift up. Alright, let's put a bit of worm on. Missed that bite. Oh. Missed that one. It's a nice fish. Nice fish. Well, as soon as you lay the worm down there, it's just the floats dipping and bobbing and everything. There's nothing left of that. You can see, I don't know if you can see, but earlier on my keep net was pretty much flat, but now it's pinned out straight to my right, so that tide is really tonking again. Nice big bit of worm. Chop his head off, just I like to cut it off just below that saddle bit, the thick bit there, the saddle. Nip it off. Spread it right round. Snip the tail off. swing out. That's it. Flow just sits better. Swinging it out just sits nice in the water. And that's where I'm getting the bite, it's just there. Holding it there steady. Let's get a bait dropper in now, next time down. Right, let's get another bait dropper in. This river, or here anyway, or most tidal rivers, it fishes so much better when there's a good flow on it. When it's really slow and static, it goes really iffy. But now there's a good flow on it and the float's sitting true and straight. It just fishes so much better, because when it's static or very, very slow, the fish can sniff the bait, they can look at it, especially if it's clear. It's a nice bit of colour in it today. We've got one opportunity to take the bait, to take it or leave it. It's gone or another fish gets it, so the bites are just a lot more positive, more push on the river. I mean, you obviously don't want too much, and there's a little bit of a compromise. And it's just the same, it's just finding where the fish are happy to be. Don't try and force them to be anywhere else where you want to fish, because well, let's just get no missus. Yeah, don't try and force them to where you want to fish. Have 2 or 3 lines on the go, assess which one fishing the best, and or yeah, try and keep a couple of swims on the go, but if that's where they want to be, fish where they want to be. Like I always say, you're never in control. The fish are always in control. You're fishing on their terms, it's in their territory, and you might go like I did last week with a preconceived idea. I was like, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, I'm going to fish the flat float, and I'm going to fish the waggler and the bollo. The river dictated, the flow dictated, and the fish didn't want to be there, and sat for 3 hours biteless. So you gotta just adapt. There are days when that works, and that's fine. Get this big branch out of the way. I'm just flicking it out in front of me because there's obviously a ledge, and the bulk weight's settling a lot better, and I'm just pushing forward on the seat box and just letting it come to rest about there. There's an inquiry. Get off the line. Okay, off the line. Now just come in and someone swaz me bait. That worm wasn't on very well. Like I say, it's never on your terms. It's never on your terms. It's always on the fisher's terms. You just got to figure out what they are, where they are, what they're feeding on, what they prefer. Maggots, worm, sweet corn, hemp. How they want the bait. Static, running through, slowed down. Blah de blah de blah. It's up to you to put the pictures, put the pieces of the puzzle together. I mean, it's that as well, and it's just having a bit of watercraft and knowledge, and that you pick up through years of experiences. Where the fish want to be and when, you know. And sounds silly when I say, you know, try and think like a fish. I mean, you won't want to be in the middle of the river there when it's pushing like this, trying to chase a few maggots around, expending 10 times more energy than you're going to get. But when it's pushing like this, and the steadiest flows on the inside or right towards where those reeds are, so, you know, just like I always say, look for structures and drop-offs and shelves and things like that. Just anywhere where the fish naturally want to be, where they want to, you know, where they're comfortable and got a little bit of protection, cover. Right, I'm going to carry on for a bit and grab a coffee. It looks like you're steaming up a bit. Hi guys, I'm all done. It's just gone 12 o'clock. It fished alright in the end. Sort of like stayed on the 4.5 metre line. Now the tire's pushing. I adjusted it again, kept adjusting the depth. It's come up a good 2 foot. Ended up putting a little bit of line on. And then just found fishing a small section of worm was better. Every time I put a pinky on it, tipped it with a pinky or maggot, just getting raggy bites or on the maggot raggy bites. But ended up with a decent net of fish in the end. Just a shame that flow at the start was a bit too slow. But and then it just gets so pacey. The further out you go, so you probably have to even step up to like 8 or 10 gram. But we had a decent net of fish. Probably had about 50 fish, and a lot more than what I thought. It's probably got banging on near enough 10 pounds, sort of like 8 to 10 pound. But some really nice fat chunky roach. Really nice decent roach in there. There's some bigger ones than that. They're absolutely banging fish, but really good quality net of fish there. Ooh. Yeah, it's a good day, a hard day. Got to work hard. Can't be lazy on the flat float or tidal rivers. You've got to keep adjusting your depth, keep plumbing up all the time. When it's banging through like this, bait dropper was best. It went a bit funny for a while, and then we sort of missed. Let me just get these fish back. Yeah, it went a little bit funny for a while, so I thought, oh, I'll pack a few bits and pieces away. Top kits I'm not using, and my rod and whatever. Let it settle for about 20 minutes, had a coffee, went back on it, and the float just sailed away again. I just think I started to overfeed it. I was getting a bit gung-ho with the feed, boiling in and bait dropper in, but like I said earlier on, just in the end I just ended up putting a bait dropper in, fishing it out, get them in whatever, 3, 4, 5, half a dozen fish. As soon as it went quiet again, putting another bait dropper in, and then it just seemed to keep the bites coming, and the bites were nice and clean and positive. And then that was away. So happy days. So yeah, that was the best sort of method on the day, or the best approach on the day, is just one bait dropper, one small bait dropper packed with maggots, casters and some chop worm, and just fish it out. I hope there's plenty of tips in there, guys. Hope you enjoy the video. All the best, tight lines, and see you again in another one. Bye for now.